Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify, and it's free. Come on.
As a club captain, how different is it dealing with players that play under you versus academy players?
So you mean like first team teammates?
Yeah, because obviously they are still teammates, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, that was always my doubt when I was going into coaching, because as a captain, I thought I was really good at the pre-match stuff, sort of speaking to the lads, getting psyched up before a game. I was never sort of good around of holding meetings around the training ground, of holding a room, and that was always my doubt going into coaching. I've sort of settled that because it's easier when you've got an engaged room.
Yeah.
Sort of at the end of Watford, I thought some of the lads were as easy to sort of engage with or believe in our old school stuff of timekeeping, and when you feel like someone don't believe what you're telling them, you sort of
don't really try as much.
Yeah, exactly.
I do find that interesting, because I think you two, from what you told me, Ben, that might be quite where you differ, because you're in a big room full of people, Ben. You're quite comfortable talking and whatnot. But I remember you saying to me that when you did a kind of team talk before the game, you didn't necessarily like it. But I remember you specifically saying how good Clevs was.
Oh, Clevs was brilliant at doing it. You remember the team talks where like somebody would come in and you'd stand in the middle and you'd do that. You used to do that, and it was like water off a duck's back. It was no problem. I remember doing it once and I was shitting myself, Clevs. It was horrible.
You were the opposite, because you'd come in the training ground dressing room after a big defeat, and we have to have crisis talks, and that's where you'd be better than I would be. So it's everyone's different.
Horses for courses.
Right, let's take it back then. We're gonna start academy.
Ben, before we do, sorry to interrupt. I need to understand, when Ben Foster first met Tom Cleverley and Tom Cleverley first met Ben Foster, what was your first impressions of each
interaction?
other? Yeah, what's your first interactions? And
let me tell you of mine of Clevs. So Clevs was he was like a little rat bag, basically. Yeah.
How old were you?
That's a compliment, by the way.
It is a compliment.
So Ben, you're 6 years older than Tom.
Am I? Yeah. How has that happened? I look even younger than you now.
You're looking a million, to be fair.
So signed for Man United, and Clevs was you'd have been coming up through the youth team, basically. You'd have been on the fringes of like the reserves and getting into the first team and all that kind of stuff. And he was injured at the time, actually. Clevs, we were injured at a very similar time, so we spent a lot of time doing that. But I just remember him being this kind of, and we could talk about it in a bit. Some of the haircuts he used to have, Clevs, horrible.
Horrendous.
And that's what I mean when I say rat bag, like proper chav haircuts, yeah. Some of the worst.
I remember
of the worst.
skinhead.
Yeah, skinhead, little Mohican ones, little like proper chav ones, right? Yeah, so bad. We'll put some pictures on the screen now.
You did have the Mohican, didn't you?
Yeah,
yeah.
Was it a side?
No, it wasn't a side one.
No.
It was sort of like faded into the middle.
I remember.
Shocker.
But yeah, I when I say rat bag again, it is a compliment, because that's exactly how I would describe him as a player. He would be that midfield rat. He would work tirelessly and he would shut you down, he would tackle you, he'd snap at you, and that's just what he was. We got on really well off the pitch anyway, but that's my first impressions of him with that, and I think that's kind of that's why you made the career you made, from being that guy, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, 5'9", not really quick, don't really score many goals from midfield. You have to be something. You have to have that one strength that sets you out, and mine was energy, and I had decent quality passing and stuff like that.
I always enjoyed watching. I'm not blowing smoke at Rouse, but I always enjoyed watching you. Always. And I always liked
to buzz off it. I
remember
him saying
and
all
I
the
just
time.
because
He's so lovely in that midfield.
Consistent, but you're consistent. But you'd also just put your foot on the ball, wouldn't you? And
I think my organisation was one thing that the crowd can't hear, but to be able to organise people, and that's helping me in my career now.
Where'd you get that from then as a kid? So where does a 18, 19, 20-year-old Tom Cleverley learn to be that little midfield rat bag?
I'm not sure, to be fair.
Just inbuilt, you think?
Yeah, I think it was. I'm not quick, not strong, not tall. So, yeah, that was my one asset that I had.
This is your X factor.
Did you work on the organisation? Or did that come naturally as well?
That come naturally, yeah. But I realised how important communication was playing in front of Rio.
Yeah.
I realised as a midfielder, I don't have to check either side because Rio basically had me on control. So I thought if I can do that for my forwards,
Yeah.
that helps them. They're not wasting time looking over the shoulders. I'm just controlling them. And yeah, that's where the big organisation...
We're going to go off on tangents all over the shop here.
But we need Klevs' first...
Yeah, can I just quickly... I just need to say this story because, like, people... I don't think people nowadays understand just quite how important communication is on the pitch on a Saturday afternoon or whenever the game is, right? People overlook it. They can't see it. They can't hear it, so they don't pay any attention to it. Do you remember when we played Liverpool at Vicarage Road?
I knew you were going to say this.
Yeah, we played... I'll talk... There's one player in particular shone out like you wouldn't believe, right? They beat us, I think it was the 5-0 or the 3-0 or whatever it was, yeah. Jordan Henderson... in midfield, right, was just it was honestly how much every one of us came off the pitch and we just said the same thing, didn't we?
Like, wow, so important to that team.
It was
He's
incredible.
like an on-field manager who's got so much quality to go with it. He did not even like players like Mane and Salah. They were all like looking at him like, give us information.
Yeah, help me.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, to see it firsthand like that
At the top level.
Yeah,
And that's
level.
something you spoke about in the changing room.
Every one of us afterwards. Yeah. Every one of us was just blown away by how he had every one of them Liverpool players on toast. They would have followed him to anywhere.
Yeah.
If they were all stood on the edge of a mountain and he said, right, we're jumping now, they'd have gone, yeah, cool.
But people assume that that's a given at that elite level, don't they?
Clevs, answer that question, please.
Nah. Communication is dying out of football.
Yes.
And especially, it's a rare thing to have a superstar who's not got an ego to be able to listen to someone like that. And those players, Salah, Mane, they completely respected Henderson, knew he was their leader, and like Fozzie said, they would have followed him anywhere that day.
It's isn't it? That's what I mean. So you look at Jordan Henderson and say that's incredible that he's doing that. That's phenomenal. And then but you have to respect the other players as well because you're talking about Mo Salah here, yeah. Mo Salah, one of the greatest players to have played in the Premier League, and he's listening to every single word, and he's going, yeah, cool, yeah, wicked, will do. And he from that learns to communicate better with other people. Having these players around, players like James Milner, I know people will just harp on about him. Tom Cleverley, the same thing. It spreads through the team. If you've got one or two of them, you're smashing it, aren't you? Really, really important.
It's a skill in itself. So Tom, what was your first impressions of a young Ben Foster coming to Man United?
Yeah, I can just remember being in that gym at Carrington, watt bike orientated.
Yeah, both injured, weren't we?
Both injured, both quite long term.
Yeah, mine was a cruise shirt. Yours was a patella, knee something, wasn't it? No, it was cartilage. I remember at the time it was cartilage. Yeah,
meniscus. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I would have been 17 years old, so you would have been 23.
Yeah.
And yeah, just in that gym sort of started our relationship, and then bit of England in there, and then again at Watford. But
talk to me about the nickname, because I remember being in that gym and I didn't quite know what your nickname was because I didn't get it, and I still probably don't get it to this day. But can you tell everybody what your nickname is?
Yeah, so my nickname at United, everyone apart from Sir Alex, it was Chunks. Everyone thought it must have been Chubby Kid. But now I think when I was 11, 12 at United, I used to say swimming chunks. Instead pass me the swimming chunks. And it's just something, and then it stuck. Yeah, it stuck the whole way through. And apart from the manager would always call people by the Sunday name. So I was always Thomas to him. But
oh, really?
Yeah, Thomas.
But all the time?
Just pure respect.
Yeah, it was Thomas, yeah. And like, Welbs would have been Daniel, yeah. That's just the way it was. Wow. Especially with the academy lads, yeah. But yeah, Chunks.
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this clip of the Fozcast. If you would like to watch the full episode, it is now available exclusively on Spotify for free.